I'm gonna say this. Listen when I say this. Like, listen with your good ear. Like, I don't know who's black anymore. I get on TikTok and I'm scrolling and I can see a white woman talking, but in my mind, she's black. Don't ask me how. But it's just like certain features. I'm like, oh, she black. And I don't care. I'm not saying she talks like me or whatnot. I'm like, I don't care where she's from. I'm like, oh, she black. But then I go on a deep dive and I'm like, oh, she's really white. Because many times I have scrolled and there's a black woman, but she's probably mixed race or maybe not. And she can pass as a white woman, but she's really black. So now I'm just confused. I'm calling everybody black at this point. And everybody might just have a little black in them. You just never know.
I'm so happy this woman made this video because somebody help me out here. Was this not the objective the entire time? This woman said that she will scroll past a video of white women and be like, oh, like, is this woman black? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things to point out about this. But the first thing I'm going to start with is a question. Have you ever scrolled past a video of someone who looks like me and questioned if they were white? Has that ever crossed your mind? Has there ever been any confusion there? Probably not, right? Probably not. So can somebody tell me why somebody who looks like me cannot possibly be mistaken for white, but somebody who is clearly white can be mistaken for black? Somebody explain that to me, because this is the reality. This was done on purpose. And let's really dive deeply into this. Let's really dive deeply into this. I have made YouTube videos before about the new image of blackness, how blackness is becoming white, because people will sit here and they will call a biracial person black, right? And they'll call a literal white person biracial. Nowadays, the quadroons and octoroons are the mixed people, and the actual mixed people are the black people. And then black people like me, we just completely get erased. The actual black people get erased from the image of blackness. And this has all been done on purpose. You really think this just happened by chance? I don't think so. You notice how this never happened in reverse, right? You notice that, right? If I had a child with a white person, okay, my child would never be considered white. Ever, ever, ever. No questions about that. But they would be considered black, despite the fact that they have a whole white parent, right? So people will sit there and say, oh, this biracial child is black because they have a black parent. And then when I respond with the exact same, philosophy, and I say, well, actually, this biracial child is white because they have a white parent, people will be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. You're right, it doesn't make any sense. The same way what you said doesn't make any sense, but you said it anyway, and you really believed it. Why is that the case? I have spoken about this on YouTube time and time again, and you all can sit here and call me crazy if you want to, but like this is happening in real time. You are just oblivious to the fact that it is occurring, but you need to wake up and look at what is going on around you and ask yourself why. Let's ask ourselves why. That's the important question. Why is this happening? Why can you look at a white woman and say, I don't know if she's black, but you can't look at a black woman and say, I don't know if she's white? Why is that? Mind you, this woman is not alone. She's not alone. I've been under many posts of white people, literal white people, right? And you know what? Actually, there's this trend currently of people posting their DNA ancestry results. It'll be a literal white person with like 10% of black in them, right? And the comments will be full of black people like, yeah, I could tell. I could look at you and tell. And actually, no. There was this one white guy. Let me be specific. Now, I did not save his video, so I can't show it here as proof or whatever. But he was as white as I am black. So he was like 86% white and like 14% black. I am 86% black and 14% white, right? So he posted his DNA results and everybody was commenting like, yeah, I can see that in you. Like, we recognize our people. And I'm confused because, again, he's as white as I am black. Nobody has ever looked at me and said, yeah, I can see the whiteness in you. That's never happened. That has never been a thing, right? But when a white person has a drop of black, suddenly every black person everywhere is talking about, yeah, we recognize our people. What is going on? Like, I gotta be in the Twilight Zone. This gotta be a simulation. There's no way. There is no way. It's peculiar because whenever I set some sort of boundary, and mind you, these don't be like crazy things I just made up. It be simple common sense. Like, how is a person black if they have a white parent? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what, right? So I'll sit there and I'll set a simple boundary. Nothing crazy, nothing dramatic. I'll just say, you can't be black if you don't have two black parents. Or I'll sit there and say, like, a one dropper is not mixed, because that's the new trend. A lot of white people are now claiming to be mixed. Literally, they'll maybe have a black grandparent, maybe, okay? And that's pushing it, right? So I'll sit there and I'll set a boundary and I'll get pushback. People comment under my YouTube all the time and they say, okay, Flower Tower, what is the cutoff? When is it too much whiteness to where the person is no longer considered black, right? Because this is the thing, and a lot of people like to be disingenuous about this, right? So I'm African American, which means that I'm descended from transatlantic slavery in the United States of America, right? So all African Americans have some small percentage of white in them due to the fact that we were raped during slavery, right? So people will sit there and they will be disingenuous. They'll say, well, Flower Tower, you're not even really black because you got some white in you, right? And they'll say, well, what is the cutoff, right? What is the cutoff? When does somebody no longer become black, right? And I just reverse it on them. What is the cutoff for whiteness? If you don't have to question when somebody is no longer white, then you don't have to question when somebody is no longer black. My confusion comes from the fact that everybody has this respect for whiteness, right? They won't even sit there and attempt to play about whiteness. If you got a black parent, you can't be white. If you're mostly black, you can't be white. If you look like me, you can't be white, right? But then folks will turn around and say that a white passing person is black. So you can be a literal white person, but still be considered black, right? But I could never be a black passing white person. I couldn't say that and be taken seriously, right? If I sat here and said, yeah, I'm a white person, I just pass as black, y'all be like, that doesn't make any fucking sense, right? But y'all will do it in reverse all the time. Can somebody make it make sense for me? I remember I made a YouTube video a couple months ago. It was not that long ago, right? And it was about a literal white woman. She was a white woman, okay? And she was considered the first African American to have her own TV show or something, right? I forget. If I can remember her name, I'll put the link to the video up here so you can click it and go and watch it, right? But I'm bringing that up because I made this point. I said, this is a white woman, but she's considered to be the first African American to XYZ, right? And I talked about the issue with this because a lot of times the first African American to do whatever is actually a biracial, or even worse, a whole ass white person that you all are calling white passing, right? And I said this presents an issue. It presents an issue in the fact that actual African Americans are still oppressed and we still have not achieved whatever thing, but people can pretend that we have because they're pretending that biracials and white people are black. In fact, let me use Barack Obama as an example. Everybody calls him the first black president. That's a whole biracial man, right? So actually, we have not had a black president yet, but everybody can sit here and pretend that we have and pretend that actual black people are not oppressed because a non-black person who they call black has been president. Y'all don't see the agenda that's being worked out against you? Like, what? Now you got black people sitting around talking about, I don't know who's black. So guess what? I wouldn't be surprised if the reparations checks got cut today. And guess what I also would not be surprised by? If a bunch of white people that y'all call black got the reparations check. Because it's giving $5 Indians. You remember when the Native Americans got their reparations and a bunch of white people spent $5 to get forged documents to claim that they were Native American, right? It's giving the same exact vibe. So now white people are sitting here being embraced as black. You got black people talking about, yeah, this white woman looks black. I don't know who's black anymore. I'm calling everyone black, right? So when the reparations checks come, then I bet you a bunch of white people are going to get reparations. And this is the funny thing. This is the kicker. I bet you a bunch of white people will get reparations and actual African Americans will not. Because let me explain something to y'all real quick. What's real funny, right? On YouTube, a lot of people accuse me of being a continental African. Now, this is my thing. If I was a continental African, I'd have been exposed for that, because this is the thing. People on YouTube are always looking me up and doing background checks and shit, trying to find some dirt on me, right? You know how people will like look up your criminal record to post your mugshot. Oh, this you got caught stealing so yada yada yada, right? So people are always looking me up, attempting to dig up some dirt on me, right? You really think if I was a continental African, that wouldn't have been like discovered by now? I wouldn't have been exposed for that? Are you kidding me? Like, what? The accusations of me being African don't even make any fucking sense. Like, at least if there was some like, you know, that's kind of suspicious, right? Maybe if I was from somewhere with a lot of African immigrants or something, right? I'm from Detroit. There's not even any immigrants here. It's pretty much all Black Americans, right? My last name is Smith. I mean, have you ever heard of slavery? Come on, buddy, right? Like what? Like the accusations are not rooted in any sort of reality, yet people continue to accuse me of this. So you may ask yourself, well, why is that, Flower Tower? Well, let's sit here and let's work through it really quickly, right? You all are claiming literal white people as Black Americans. Literal white people. Y'all will look at a white person and be like, oh yeah, that person's a Black American, they're just white passing, right? White people and biracials are the new Black Americans, right? So an actual Black American like myself has to be something else. There's a whitening of Black America occurring, right? So you all will sit there, like, matter of fact, y'all, I just recorded a video the other day. I put it up there. It was about Ekane, right? Now, she is a light-skinned woman, okay? And she's clearly light-skinned, like, not no questions about it, right? But everybody was in the, not everybody, it was like half and half, right? Now, this is the thing. Wait, hold up. Let me give some context to it so it makes even more sense, right? So Ekane said something colorist about dark-skinned women. She went on this whole rant. She was like, yeah, I'm a light-skinned woman. That means you'll never be able to get to the heights that I've gotten to, so, yada, 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 right? And half of the comments were from people saying, Ekane's not even light-skinned. Now, Ekane is clearly light-skinned. Not no questions about it, right? But this brings me back to my point. So perhaps Ekane is brown skinned compared to the white people and the biracials who you all call light skinned. I keep telling y'all, those people are not light skinned, they white skinned. And like, come on, let's stop using the wrong terms here, right? But let me get to my point, right? So y'all will sit there and call a white person and their offspring, right? Y'all will sit there and call them light skinned Black Americans, right? Then you come across somebody like Ekane who is actually light skinned, and you'll call her brown-skinned Black American, right? Then y'all will sit there and call brown-skinned people dark-skinned, because there was a point where y'all was hounding brown-skinned people bad. Y'all was telling them, oh, you either light-skinned or dark-skinned. Brown-skin doesn't even exist. Like, it's just all different shades of dark-skin, right? And I was like, yeah, no, right? But y'all will sit there and call brown-skinned people dark-skinned, right? Then you come across a dark-skinned Black American like myself, and you'll say, oh, you must not be Black American. You must secretly be African, because Black Americans don't even come in your shade. Do y'all see what's happening around you now? Because Flower Tower predicted this years ago. Come on now. This is the thing. I can sit here and I can hold non-Black people accountable for playing in Black people's spaces, but I have to hold Black people accountable for allowing these people to play in our faces as well, right? Because this is the thing. If I posted my DNA ancestry results, right, and it showed that I'm 14% white, do you think that white people will be in the comments like, yeah, I can see it in your face, buddy, yo? Like, you're invited to the Klan rally, my good chap. Do you think that would happen? Do you think that if I sat here and said, yeah, I'm a Black passing white person, white people would embrace me in their community? Do you think that would happen? I don't think that would happen, right? But you all sit around and you do it in reverse, right? You let white people call themselves white passing Black people, and y'all be like, yeah, come on over, buddy. Like, what? You will sit there and see a white person post their DNA results and be 10% Black and be like, yeah, you're one of us. Huh? Like you gotta hold Black folks accountable for a lot of this stuff, because Black people have an issue. And let me tell you what that issue is, right? A lot of Black people have a very serious inferiority complex. They are obsessed with approval from white people, proximity to white people, etc., etc., etc. So they will sit there and pretend that a white person is Black because they are honored to be in their presence. White people won't do the same for a black person though. There's going to be people in my comments, they're going to say, well, this white person is actually black because white people won't accept them as white. Like what are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Like literally when I made that video about the white woman who was the first African American to have whatever show, and I said this is a white woman, right? People were like, well, at the time they treated her like a black person, therefore she was black. That's not how that works. Now, you can sit here and you can have a whole conversation about how deeply white people hate black people to the point where they will alienate their own people if they have even a whiff of any black proximity, right? So they will sit there and they will oppress other white people because they'll be like, oh, well, your great granddaddy was black. That does not make that white person black. That just brings up a whole conversation about how deeply white people hate black people. And this is my other issue. And I swear this is an effect from slavery. I swear to God, I talk all the time about epigenetics, right? And how, we still have a lot of trauma from slavery. And so do white people. That's what a lot of people don't like to focus on. White people got a lot of trauma from slavery as well, right? But I'm gonna briefly talk about black people's trauma real quick. I swear a lot of black people have this mentality of, oh, what white people say goes, right? Because you will question a black person about something like this. You'll say, well, how is this white person black? And they'll say, well, white people said they black, so they black. Huh? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what are you saying? But again, a lot of black people have this mentality, oh, if Master said it, then it must be so. Like, I just take it as it is, boss. Like, what the fuck? It's 2024 and black folks talking about, oh, yeah, I don't know who's black anymore. I called anyone black. Guess what? White people know who white. White people know exactly who is white, and they not calling anybody white. They never going to look at you and be confused. They're never going to look at you and mistake you for a white person. But you sitting around talking about, yeah, I look at white people and I think they're black. I hope you niggas wake up soon because, baby, this is just the beginning.